You might not expect it, but the wrong kind of nuts can quietly raise your risk of heart disease, in some cases by almost half. And this isn't guesswork. It's backed by long-term research published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology. Here's where it gets concerning. The very nuts most people keep in their kitchen cupboards could be pushing up blood pressure, fueling inflammation, clogging arteries, and even speeding up memory loss. Seniors, in particular, are at risk. Many snack on them daily thinking they're protecting their health, when the opposite may be happening. And one nut in particular, which I'll reveal later, carries an even darker side. Studies show it contains a natural toxin that, over time, can put real stress on your liver, kidneys, and even your brain. Chances are it's already sitting in your snack bowl. What's worse, low-carb diets often promote this nut as a healthy choice, when in reality it could be quietly doing long-term damage to aging bodies. But don't worry, this video is here to guide you. We've put together the ultimate nut guide for seniors, showing you exactly which varieties are the safest, most heart-friendly, and most supportive for brain health, and which ones you should absolutely avoid if you care about your long-term well-being. And make sure you stick around until the end, because we'll uncover a shocking truth about one nut in particular, a nut that almost nobody talks about, yet could be silently causing serious harm to your health. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more practical senior health tips. And let us know in the comments where you're watching from. I love seeing our community from all around the world. So, without further delay, here are the 4 nuts every senior should know about. Fourth, bone-strengthening powerhouse, almonds. Almonds are one of the most valuable foods you can add to your diet as you age, thanks to their impressive levels of calcium and vitamin E, 2 nutrients that directly support bone health. As the years go by, bones naturally become more porous and fragile, which raises the risk of fractures and serious complications. After age 65, this natural bone loss accelerates, but eating just a quarter cup of almonds per day provides about 97 milligrams of calcium, helping slow down the process. But here's what makes almonds unique. They're also rich in magnesium, a mineral that many older adults don't get enough of. Magnesium acts as a traffic director, making sure calcium is delivered to your bones where it belongs, instead of hardening in your arteries. On top of that, almonds contain heart-healthy monounsaturated fats, which lower harmful LDL cholesterol, a key benefit since cardiovascular disease risk rises with age. For seniors, the ideal serving is about 15 to 20 almonds daily, preferably unsalted or dry roasted. Their fiber content, around 3.5 grams per serving, makes them an excellent natural remedy for constipation, which affects nearly 40% of older adults. Even more impressive, research from Tufts University found that almonds help protect brain cells from oxidative stress, slowing down the type of damage linked with cognitive decline. Always look for almonds with their skins on. The skins contain flavonoids that, when combined with vitamin E, double their antioxidant power. One word of caution though, almonds can be a choking hazard for seniors who have difficulty swallowing, so be sure to chew them thoroughly. Third, the brain-boosting nut, walnuts. Walnuts are often called food for the brain, and with good reason. Their wrinkled shape mirrors the very organ they benefit most. These powerhouse nuts are the richest source of plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, specifically alpha-linolenic acid, compared to any other commonly eaten nut. For seniors, this is critical because omega-3s strengthen cell membranes in the brain and support healthy neurotransmission, both of which decline with age. A recent study published in the journal Nutrition found that older adults who consumed just 1.5 ounces of walnuts daily for 8 weeks showed measurable improvements in processing speed and mental flexibility. Walnuts also contain unique polyphenolic compounds that can cross the blood-brain barrier, where they directly fight inflammation in nerve tissues. This protective action may help reduce the risk of Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. What many people don't realize is that walnuts naturally contain melatonin, the sleep-regulating hormone that declines as we get older. For seniors struggling with restless nights, a small handful of walnuts before bed may promote deeper, more restorative sleep. In addition, their combination of arginine, an amino acid that supports blood vessel health, and polyphenols makes walnuts highly beneficial for cardiovascular function, helping arteries stay flexible, and even enhancing the effects of blood pressure medication. For best results, store walnuts in the refrigerator to prevent their delicate oils from turning rancid. Aim for 7 to 9 walnut halves per day. And here's an unexpected bonus. Cracking them open yourself is not only satisfying, but also a great way to keep your fine motor skills sharp. Don't be put off by their slightly bitter taste. That bitterness is actually a sign of their potent antioxidants at work. Second, the blood pressure-friendly nut, pistachios. Among all the nuts seniors snack on, pistachios often fly under the radar, yet they're one of the smartest choices for keeping blood pressure in check. What makes them stand out isn't just their crunch, but their nutritional balance. Naturally low in sodium and high in potassium, with about 285 milligrams per serving. This combination helps your body flush out extra salt and prevents the kind of fluid buildup that strains the heart. In fact, researchers have found that eating pistachios a few times a week can gently lower systolic blood pressure by 3 to 5 points, giving you a medication-like effect without the side effects. But pistachios don't just help your heart. They're also packed with lutein and zeaxanthin, two antioxidants that shield your eyes from age-related macular degeneration, the #1 cause of vision loss after 60. Unlike harder nuts that may stress sensitive teeth, pistachios offer a light, satisfying crunch that's easy on gums and dentures. Their striking green and purple hues are nature's way of signaling their antioxidant power. And here's a unique bonus. Cracking open the shells actually slows you down, turning snacking into a mindful habit that keeps overeating at bay. In fact, studies show that seeing the pile of shells in front of you acts as a visual reminder to stop before you've had too much. For those with arthritis, pre-split shells make them even easier to enjoy. Aim for a small handful, about 49 pistachios or 1 ounce, preferably unsalted. With nearly a quarter of seniors over 65 living with diabetes or pre-diabetes, their 3 grams of fiber per ounce also help stabilize blood sugar while keeping you satisfied. First, the thyroid-supporting powerhouse, Brazil nuts. We put Brazil nuts at #1 for a reason. They're one of the most overlooked yet powerful foods for seniors, especially when it comes to thyroid health. Just a single Brazil nut contains about 96 micrograms of selenium. That's 137% of your daily needs, making it the richest natural source on Earth. Why does this matter? Because thyroid issues often hide in plain sight with symptoms that look a lot like normal aging. In fact, nearly 1 in 5 adults over 65 deal with thyroid dysfunction without even realizing it. Selenium plays a critical role in activating thyroid hormones, which regulate energy, metabolism, and even mood stability. But the benefits don't stop there. The unique fatty acids in Brazil nuts also protect the myelin sheath, the insulating layer around your nerves that naturally thins with age. By supporting myelin, Brazil nuts help seniors maintain quicker reflexes, sharper reaction times, and clearer cognitive processing. Unlike synthetic selenium supplements, the selenium in Brazil nuts is organically bound, meaning it's easier for your body to absorb and put to use. The beauty of Brazil nuts is their potency. You don't need a big handful to see results. In fact, more isn't better here. Because too much selenium can have negative effects, most experts recommend sticking to just 1 or 2 nuts per day. That small serving is enough to strengthen thyroid health, protect your nerves, and support regular digestion thanks to their fiber and natural oils. For best quality, choose nuts that are still in the shell, as this helps preserve nutrients longer. Keep them in the fridge to prevent spoilage. They're naturally high in fats. And if constipation is an issue, Brazil nuts' fiber content makes them a gentle and natural solution. Here's the exciting part. Emerging research shows that Brazil nut antioxidants may even slow the shortening of telomeres, the protective caps at the ends of your chromosomes that shrink as you age. Shorter telomeres are linked to faster cellular aging. That means Brazil nuts don't just support your thyroid, they could actually help slow the clock on a cellular level. For anyone over 65, these rich, buttery nuts are a small daily habit with big potential impact. Now that we've covered the 4 healthiest nuts seniors should be eating every week, it's time to flip the script. Not all nuts are safe. In fact, some can quietly damage your heart, joints, and even your brain. So let's move into the next section, the nuts seniors should avoid at all costs. Fourth, the hidden inflammation trigger, peanuts. Peanuts might be one of the most popular snacks in America, but for seniors, they can pose some serious risks. First things first, despite their name, peanuts aren't actually nuts. They're legumes, which grow underground and are especially vulnerable to mold and contamination. This makes them a prime source of aflatoxins, a type of natural toxin produced by certain molds. Over time, aflatoxins can damage the liver and have even been linked to increased cancer risk. And here's the problem. As we age, our body's detoxification systems become less efficient, meaning seniors are at higher risk from even small exposures. But that's not the only concern. Peanuts contain specific proteins that can spark inflammatory responses, even in people who don't have a true peanut allergy. For older adults already facing joint discomfort, cardiovascular strain, or cognitive decline, this chronic, low-grade inflammation can make things worse across the board. Another hidden danger? The fat profile. Most seniors already consume too many omega-6 fatty acids, compared to anti-inflammatory omega-3s. Peanuts are loaded with omega-6s, which tip the balance further toward inflammation. And if you're taking blood thinners like warfarin, peanuts' vitamin K content could interfere in dangerous ways, something many doctors fail to mention. Commercial peanut butters only make the problem worse. Hydrogenated oils, added sugars, and extra sodium put unnecessary strain on aging hearts and blood vessels. Even so-called natural peanut butter, without added salt, has been shown to raise blood pressure in some seniors. Storage is another issue. Peanuts spoil quickly, producing harmful free radicals, and when dry roasted, they generate acrylamide, a chemical linked to cognitive decline and memory problems. You may think, but I've eaten peanuts for years without any major issues. The truth is, damage can build slowly over time. Switching even part of your weekly intake to safer, nutrient-rich options like almonds, walnuts, or pistachios just a few days per week can dramatically reduce exposure to these harmful compounds while still giving your body the nutrients it needs. Third, cashews, a hidden danger in disguise. Although cashews often carry a reputation as a healthy snack, for older adults they can present more risks than benefits. Unlike true tree nuts, cashews contain fewer protective compounds and a much higher carbohydrate load, about 9 grams per ounce. That makes them particularly problematic for seniors, considering that nearly 1 in 4 adults over 65 have diabetes, and almost half are pre-diabetic. Eating cashews can cause sharp spikes in blood sugar, worsening an already fragile metabolic balance. Their smooth, curved shape also comes with a safety concern. Cashews are among the most commonly aspirated nuts in seniors with swallowing difficulties, increasing the risk of choking. Nutritionally, they fall short as well. Cashews are high in oxalates, compounds that bind to calcium and reduce absorption. For seniors already vulnerable to osteoporosis or brittle bones, that's a dangerous combination. The same oxalates also raise the risk of kidney stones, which climbs significantly after the age of 60. Another problem lies in the way cashews are processed. To remove a natural toxin called urushiol, cashews must go through heavy treatment that strips away much of their nutrient value. Store-bought varieties are often oil-roasted and salted, adding unhealthy fats and sodium that can raise blood pressure and strain the heart. They also contain enzyme inhibitors that make protein digestion more difficult, an issue since many older adults already struggle to absorb nutrients efficiently. And here's the trap. Their creamy texture makes them easy to overeat, which can lead to unwanted weight gain at a stage of life when maintaining a healthy weight is already a challenge. For a smarter choice, swap cashews for almonds or walnuts. Both offer superior nutrition, bone-strengthening minerals, and protective compounds, without the hidden downsides that make cashews risky for aging bodies. Second, calorie-dense trouble, macadamia nuts. As delicious as they may taste, macadamia nuts carry a serious downside for older adults: extreme calorie density. With nearly 200 calories per ounce, they are among the most calorie-packed nuts on the market. Since metabolism naturally slows with age, this makes weight management, already a struggle for many seniors, even more difficult. Their extraordinarily high fat content, about 22 grams per ounce, can also trigger gallbladder issues. Up to 15% of seniors have gallstones without even knowing it, and the richness of macadamias can spark painful flare-ups. On top of that, macadamias rank among the highest in saturated fat with about 3 grams per ounce, which can raise LDL cholesterol. Exactly what most older adults are trying to avoid. Dental health is another hidden concern. Macadamias are hard and dense, making them a real hazard for seniors with crowns, bridges, or weakened teeth. After 65, enamel naturally thins and calcium absorption declines, so the risk of cracking or chipping teeth grows. Practically speaking, macadamias are also one of the most expensive nuts. For budget-conscious seniors, this often means turning to cheaper bulk options that may have been poorly stored, raising the risk of oxidized, rancid fats that can harm cardiovascular health. Commercial macadamias are usually oil-roasted and heavily salted, adding even more sodium and damaged fats into the mix. Their rich, buttery flavor makes them easy to overeat, which only multiplies the calorie and fat overload. Many seniors mistakenly believe macadamias are good for heart health, but the research behind heart-healthy nuts often highlights almonds, walnuts, or pistachios, not macadamias. In fact, pistachios in particular provide far superior nutrients for aging bodies, with fiber, antioxidants, and blood pressure-supporting minerals. If macadamias are a regular part of your snacking routine, consider swapping them for pistachios instead. They're lighter, more nutritious, and much better suited to senior health. First, pine nuts, a hidden risk for seniors. Pine nuts may look harmless, but for older adults, they can be one of the most problematic nuts. The biggest issue? They contain compounds known to interfere with prescription medications. Studies suggest they may interact with more than 60% of the medications commonly prescribed to seniors, including statins, certain antidepressants, and blood pressure drugs. This means reduced effectiveness of your medicine, or dangerous side effects. Another concern is what's known as pine nut syndrome. For some people, eating pine nuts leaves behind a bitter metallic taste that lingers for days or even weeks. It may sound minor, but for seniors, this can be devastating, as changes in taste are strongly linked to appetite loss, poor nutrition, and even unintended weight loss. In fact, up to 42% of those affected experience measurable weight decline. Researchers believe this happens more often in older adults due to natural age-related changes in taste receptors and detoxification pathways. Nutritionally, pine nuts are not the best choice either. They are loaded with polyunsaturated fats that oxidize quickly, producing inflammatory compounds. This is especially concerning for seniors already dealing with arthritis or other inflammatory conditions. Their small, slippery size also creates a choking hazard, particularly for anyone with dry mouth from medications or swallowing difficulties. problems that affect over 70% of seniors taking multiple prescriptions. On top of that, pine nuts contain enzyme inhibitors that make protein harder to digest, an extra burden since the body's ability to absorb protein naturally declines with age. And because they are calorie-dense, often used in pesto or baked goods, they can easily contribute to unwanted weight gain after 65. Even more alarming, new research suggests that chemicals in some pine nut varieties may accelerate age-related macular degeneration, a leading cause of vision loss in seniors. For all these reasons, pine nuts top the list of nuts to avoid after 65. As we've seen, not all nuts are created equal, especially when it comes to senior health. The right choices can strengthen your bones, protect your brain, and keep your heart healthy. But the wrong ones can quietly sabotage your joints, metabolism, and even your medication. Remember, small changes add up over time. Choosing the right nuts today can mean better mobility, sharper thinking, and greater vitality in the years ahead. Now it's your turn. Have you noticed a difference in your health when adding or removing certain nuts from your diet? Which nut has had the biggest impact on your life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read and reply to every single one. And if you found this guide helpful, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest health tips. Your legs and your body deserve a second chance, and you're far from finished yet.